Hi, everyone. My name is Haley Isidore, and I am a member of the communications team for KMK. Did you know there's an invasive species that is impacting the health of our forest here in Nova Scotia? We know how important their environment is to the Mi'kmaq, so I wanted to share some information about Hemlock woolly adelgid. Today, we will be hearing from Sherilyn, who is a member of our consultation team, and her specialty is in forestry. She joined KMK in 2020 and works alongside many of our Mi'kmaq organizations when it comes to what is happening in our forests. So we expect that people may have questions at the end of her presentation, but the session is being pre-recorded, just so we get the information out quickly. If you do have any questions for Sherilyn after watching this, please reach out to our office by email or phone at info@mi'kmaqrights.com or 902-843-3880. Now, let me turn things over to Sherilyn.
Hi, everyone. As Haley already alluded to, Delawisi Sherilyn Young, Alugway Gumuk Maglawaswahan, Alugway Gamusha Hamek. My name is Sherilyn Young. I work for KMK as a member of the consultation team. And today we will be talking a little bit about Hemlock woolly adelgid, or HWA, and its presence in Mi'kmaq. I'll give a brief description of the insect, the damage it causes, the values it may impact, the proposed management strategies in Nova Scotia, and what you could do should you see Hemlock woolly adelgid here in the province. Hemlock woolly adelgid, or HWA, is a small aphid-like insect. They are defined by a characteristic woolly sac as seen on the boughs of the eastern hemlock. All Hemlock woolly adelgid here in Nova Scotia are female, meaning that they also reproduce asexually, and they reproduce twice per year. Overwintering females can lay up to 300 eggs, while the spring generation females will lay up to 75 eggs. So in April, after our winter thaws, each of those woolly sacs, as seen here on the left-hand side, have the potential to represent 300 insects. So Hemlock woolly adelgid, or again, HWA, isn't a particularly slow eater, and nor is it a dainty eater. On its relative scale of munchiness, it likes to eat. They move from tree to tree, overwhelming them and disrupting their nutrient flow. They use stylets or mouthparts, almost like straws, inserting them into the underside of hemlock needles, and this allows them to tap directly into the food storage cells of the tree. So with each female laying up to 375 new insects a year, they can quickly overwhelm the tree and cause mortality. And they don't have the ability to move on their own, given that they are wingless, but rather they use vectors or hosts to help them travel. So birds, mammals, including humans, and even wind can be attributed to their range. Thus far, they have been found to move upwards to 15 kilometers per year, up until this year, in which case they have jumped over 100 kilometers per year. And they can be found in all areas of Gaspoeg and now in Halifax Regional Municipality. And of course, they're insects just doing what insects do. They don't mean to be killing these forests. There are just no natural predators here. And given that they're an exotic species, our eastern hemlocks have no built-up immunosupport to help them combat HWA. So by 2030, up to 80% of our hemlock forests can be gone. And that's devastating. And this matters because beyond the aesthetics of an old-growth hemlock forest, our Wabanaki old-growth forests make up less than 1% of all forests in Nova Scotia. And these forests are essential in providing winter and summer habitat for wildlife, including our endangered species like mainland moose and American marten. They help maintain water levels and aid in water quality, which in turn supports fish habitat and other aquatic fauna and flora. And finally, they protect our cultural values. They are storytellers, our grandmothers, our knowledge keepers. They house some of our most sacred sites, and they protect our buried ancestors. And they provide for us. They give us food, shelter, crafting materials, and medicine. And we still live in and steward these forests. And as stewards of these forests, we need to be able to support them and provide for them too. So some of the proposed management strategies here in Nova Scotia have been spraying, thinning, and biological controls or natural predators. And again, as I've already stated, there are no natural predators of HWA here in Nova Scotia. So we have to rely pretty heavily on exporting or importing new predators to combat these species. All of the chemical treatments as seen on the screen are being applied on the land today. But chemical treatments were only intended as a temporary solution. On top of costs, we could not possibly expect to continue to treat our forests with these harsh chemicals. Safari, 20SG, or dinetefuran, Cytec 2F, EcoJet, and Emijet are all neonicotinoids and all imidacloprid. Whereas triazine would be the preferred chemical treatment as it is a biological compound that breaks down relatively fast within its environment. It's made up of mostly neem tree soils, or neem tree seed extracts. So it is using a tree to support a tree or help a tree. And thimin has been another proposed management strategy. And thimin can be used to limit the spread by removing infected trees or opening to create those harsh weather conditions. Because as many of you are already aware, we're experiencing climate change and climate change really fast. So we're really getting those mild winters and we're not seeing those extreme temperatures. However, with exotic species like HWA, we really need to have those extreme temperatures to reduce that population or create dieback. Hemlock forests provide a safe haven for these types of insects because in the summer, we have, if you walk into a hemlock forest, they will consistently be 15 degrees cooler. And in the winter, they will be sufficiently or significantly warmer. So that's really protecting those insects from those harsh weather conditions. By thinning, the province is hoping to sort of mimic those harsh weather conditions and remove some of those infected HWA trees. And then we have biological control. So far, thousands of Laricopias have been released, and the results have been promising, with less than 50% mortality of these little soldiers. And that's what they should be considered as little soldiers. They're working on the land and eating all of these little tiny HWAs, anyone that they can find. And hopefully in the future, if we can get an established population of Laricopias, then we wouldn't have so much of a concern for HWA in the province because they will actively work against it. What can you do if you happen to think you spotted HWA on your land base or on a trail that you might frequent? Well, there's a number of things that you can do. You can contact us or CFIA if you think you've spotted some of those HWA in your local area, or you can spread awareness about this insect. So educate others. Say, I think I've seen a woolly sac on the bottom of a valve, and I think that it could be HWA. Take a picture of it. You can outline your hemlock forest for us. These are areas that we need to know that are important to you. If we know that they're important to you, we can protect them in the way that you would like them protected. And I know this news can come as a little bit devastating. It's a little bit heavy, given that we could lose upwards to 80% of our hemlock forest by 2030. But there's still hope. So if you happen to find HWA in your area, please contact us and we will get you in contact with the right individuals. Well, Lalio, thank you for your time. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out by the email and the phone number that were provided earlier.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and we hope that you learned what you can do to stop the spread of HWA. And thank you again, Sherilyn, for your time and your presentation. Walaliok.